Hello everyone and welcome to another week with Para Rowing Foundation. I am Steph and I'm joined by Jen here today, and we are ready for another awesome strength and conditioning workout. We are going to be focusing on some oblique work, so working on a little bit of rotation, a little bit of lateral flexion, and always continuing our shoulder stabilization and strength. So when you're ready, today's equipment, you're just going to need a foam roller or a pillow if you need a little extra support, and then a band anchored around an anchor point. We will start in a comfortable seated position with our elevation and depression. So on an inhale, let's pull those shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale, press them away. Feel that contraction under the armpit. Inhale, slide up that wall behind you, and then exhale, open the chest, melt away. As you inhale, feel the tension on top and wrinkles in the shoulders, and then as you exhale, think about ironing out the fabric that rests on top. Last two. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, you have really big hoop earrings and you have to make space for them as you press down. Last one. Inhale, pull it up. And exhale, press it away. All right, leave those shoulders slightly depressed. And we're going to take the hands out in front of us for our protraction and retraction. So we're going to take an inhale and pull into our retraction. Open the chest. Exhale, press the fingertips away from you. Open the shoulder blades. Inhale, pull back, wrap the spine. Exhale, shoulder blades swim around the rib cage towards the armpits. Inhale, pull them back. And exhale, press forward. Your forearms and upper arms are nice and parallel to the ground as we inhale and pull back. Exhale, press away, spread the shoulder blades east to west. Last time. Inhale, nice long neck, invite some length into the spine. Exhale, press. Last time, and come to a neutral position. Drop the hands, relax your shoulders a little bit. Make sure we're not carrying any tension in that neck. And let's take the hands out to a T position. We're going to do a little bit of rotation. So palms are facing down towards the floor, and we're going to rotate from the shoulder joint to flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rotate and flip down. Yeah, so I really want you to think about that ball and socket joint moving in the joint capsule itself. So the hands and the elbows come along for the ride, but what initiates it is the rotation at the shoulder. Yeah, it's like we're doing kind of like a weird wave. Nope, don't do that. Okay, we're having too much fun now. All right, two more in each direction. And keep reaching the arms long through this. Find that nice T shape across the whole chest. And then on your next one, let's leave the palms facing up. Woo! Drop the hands if you need a quick break, because we're coming right up to do that up overhead. So reach the hands up overhead, biceps are next to the ear, palms are facing towards one another. We're gonna rotate from the shoulder joint to flip the palms away. Now they're facing away from one another. Flip the palms, rotate towards one another. Rotate away. Can we drop the shoulders just a little bit so we have that nice frame of the face? Woo! Yes, these ones should already be burning. We're working our internal and external rotators here, all in an overhead position. Let's take two more. Last time. Palms flip towards one another, initiate from the shoulders and away. Nice job. All right, let's warm up the center a little bit. So take the hands back to that T position. We're going to start with a twist. If you need a little less balance or a little less lever weight out to the sides, you can always do this with your hands to your forehead, or you can use one hand for support. So T the arms, and we're going to inhale. I want you to think about spinning your body towards one direction. And then you exhale, close the ribs to come back to center. Good. Inhale, twist. Think about a barbershop pole just reaching up and up and up out of the top of your head. Exhale, close it to center. Inhale, get taller. Think about that air going in between your discs. Exhale, close it back up. Good. As you inhale and twist, your arms are the handlebar of a bike, so the arms aren't leading. Exhale, twist. They're connected long and strong across the chest. Inhale, rotate away. Exhale, pull it closed. Last time in each direction. Inhale, getting that nice rotation from the mid-back. Exhale, close it. Last time. And exhale, close. Lower those arms. We're going to take one hand out to the side. Let's take our left hand out to the side and just support yourself on the mat about 6 inches from your hip. All right? The other hand is going to come out to a T position. Flip the palm up toward the ceiling. A little bit of softness in the elbow as you reach up and over, looking for that lateral flexion in the bottom of the ribs. Ooh, press into the bottom hand to help support you in that position. Good. And then come back through the center. Opposite hand floats down. Reach up and over. Good. We're thinking about pushing that armpit towards the ceiling. And then come back to center. Good. And let's take 2 more in each direction. This one's called Mermaid. So, you know, if you want to just give me a little aerial singing right here, please feel free as we rotate to the opposite side. And we've got 1 more in each direction. Just thinking about, you know, how we're kind of moving that spine in different directions today, getting nice and lubricated around those joints. Last time over to the left. And then come back to center, and let's get seated facing our anchor point for our first set of exercises. Now, if you have handles for this first set of exercises, I'm going to recommend that you strap these on like you're putting on long, fancy gloves and get them right around your elbow joint, all right? If you don't, no problem. Jen is going to demonstrate how to do this with just her hands right on the bands, kind of like we usually have them. All right, so we start with our elbows in a 90-degree angle, okay? Pull the shoulder blades down the back, thinking about shelving them towards our pockets. Yes, already we should feel a lot of work in the back muscles. Now, keeping the forearms parallel to one another, you're gonna draw the forearms in to make train tracks, and then exhale, press it wide. Good. Inhale, forearms draw together, and then exhale, press out to make your little saguaro cactus arms. Good. Jen, you keep going. I'm going to demonstrate one to the camera just so you can see the angles here. So holding onto the bands, we draw wide, 90 degrees at the elbows. As we draw to the center, forearms are like train tracks. And let's take 3 more. Draw it wide. You can also do this with hand weights if you don't have bands at home. And I want you to think about leading just slightly with the elbow so the the wrists don't come together. No coming together and praying that it's over. Last one. Press it back, shelve those shoulders, and then draw it in. All right, on this next one, you're gonna press it out and hold it right here. Feel that those fingertips or knuckles are straight up to the ceiling. Keep that nice shape across the chest. You're gonna slide the elbows down to the hips and then open it back up. Good. Slide down to the hips and then just come back to your 90-degree cactus arms at the top. Lovely. Good. Press it down and then slide it up. Don't be afraid to press back into the back of the hands a little bit. Nice job. Last 2. Think about wrapping your ribs and then up against that imaginary wall. It's like a little T-Rex snow angel. Last one. Jen's working so much harder than me because she kept her resistance. It's all a clever ruse. All right, nice job. Relax those arms. Okay. Now, take a little scoot back So you have a little bit more resistance. We're gonna go for a low row, which we should all be very powerful in, since this is our sport after all. So make sure that as you're out here, don't allow the shoulder to come out of the socket. Really think about that work we just did for opening the chest. And as you exhale, we're gonna draw the elbows back for our nice low row. Good. And then inhale, control the band out. Exhale, we're thinking the elbows press back just slightly behind the rib cage. And then inhale, draw it back in. But we're only coming back so far as we can still keep those ribs nice and flat. So what we want to avoid is, as we draw back, not starting to extend into that position. Really think about driving that breath into the intercostals and just kind of creating that, minimizing the space in between each of those rib bones. So let's take 2 more. Thumbs come underneath the armpits. Last one. And then you're going to drop just one of your band sides. We're going to do a low row on one side. We're going to start with 3, just like we just did. So we're just rowing it in and then reaching it out. So for these first couple, we're keeping that chest nice and square. Good. Working unilaterally here. You should feel lots of work through that lat. And then on our next one, we're going to add rotation. So you're going to row it back just like you did. Look over the shoulder and rotate from the mid-back. And then spiral back to center and release the hand. Good. So it's exhale, row, inhale, rotate it tall, and then exhale, release it all out. Good. Let's keep moving through this. As we're working that rotation, really try to cue into not only those nice intercostal muscles wrapping around the ribs, but also that serratus muscle, those lat muscles, everything that connects underneath the armpit. Let's take 2 more. Controlling the rotation back, and then unfurling body and hand at the same time. Last one. All right. Drop, well, just switch out your hands so that you have your opposite hand on that band. And let's take the same thing on the opposite side. Again, make sure that that shoulder is locked into the socket. And we're going to start with 3 rows without rotation. So just row it in and then press it out. And sometimes I think that the anti-rotational exercises are almost a little harder because you can feel your body wants to move with that banded tension. So this is our last one, keeping the chest square. And then on the next one, elbow slides back and we rotate around. Nice. And then release it back to the center. Good. As you row and then rotate, you should feel that back wrapping towards the middle of the spinal column. And this is what? It's a retraction of the shoulder blade as we come into that rotation. Good. Thinking about keeping the head of our humerus nice and up to the ceiling so that we don't start to rotate forward. Good, so it's just the elbow comes back, rotate, and then center, unfurl. 2 more on this side. Good. Probably notice one side is a little bit better than the other. Since I rode port for so long, my rotation, not so good in this direction. Ports for life. Last time. Blow out that air. Get all of the movement through that mid-back you can, and then come back through center. All right. Come back in a little bit. We're going to do a little work with our biceps. Just to make sure we stay nice and even, which is a smaller muscle group, so you're going to want a little bit less tension. So we're going to have both hands on the band again. We're going to start with our elbows lifted slightly. All right, now remember, if you feel that this starts to kind of curl you in, lower the elbows a little bit so you can keep those nice open collarbones. As you exhale, you're going to bring fingertips to forehead. And then inhale, release it out. Good. Exhale, fingertips to forehead. And inhale, release that tension. Working through that nice range of motion. Think about squeezing a little harder once you have the fingertips to the forehead. Work right into the belly of that bicep. The biceps are, seem kind of like an accessory muscle, your t-shirt muscles, right? But they are important to being able to flex the elbow, right? So think about your finished position when you draw the elbows in. So they do, in fact, have a purpose for our rowing stroke. On this next one, we're going to curl it in and hold it, all right? I want you to think forearms are a little past perpendicular to the floor. We're going to slide the fingers up 1 inch and then down 1 inch. Yes, up 1 inch and then down 1 inch. Those biceps should be on fire now. And we are also stabilizing with the deltoids. So we have some work in those shoulders as well. We're going to go for 3. Last 2. 1. Release it out. Relax for a second. We have one more thing to do with our bicep curls. So when you're ready, flip those palms up to the ceiling. We're going to curl it in and hold, all right? Now we're going to take a little rotation and just a little tilt down. So I want you to think, bring your elbow almost down towards your hip a little bit, and then bring it back to center. Rotate and think, dip my elbow towards the floor. Good. Rotate and dip. It's like a little tiny crunch in the top of that rib cage. We'll take 2 more on each side. Rotate and dip. Ooh, nice job. Exhale as you're dipping. Last time. And final one. Release those biceps. And let's reach those hands behind us. And just extend the elbows to give yourself a little stretch across the front of that arm. Those ones burned a lot more than I anticipated. Excellent. So we have one more thing to do seated here. So once you've recovered, all right, we're going to grab both of our handles. Again, Jen, you're on your own with resistance this time. I'm going to demonstrate towards the camera. So get your fan into both hands, and we're going to have punching knuckles towards the front. Elbows are at 90. Now watch that because, yeah, your knuckles are going to want to come towards each other. Push them out. All right, keeping that 90-degree angle at the elbow point is going to stay fixed in space, and we're going to flip the palms, to face towards the screen, and then you close it back up, punching knuckles forward. Exhale as you open it up, rotate the shoulder, and then inhale, close it up, palms go down to the floor. Yes, so again, this is that rotation right from the shoulder joint. Yes, make sure you're breathing. We're all enjoying these ones so much. So again, external rotation. I think there must have been a fly, because Jen never would have shaken her head like that to say she wasn't enjoying these. All right, external rotation. We are using the back of those rotator cuff muscles, that infraspinatus. And we have 2 more. And you can always do these with weights, again, if you don't like the way the band kind of pulls you in this position. Last one. Really think, reach those hands back, almost behind the elbows, and relax. Oh. All right, let's take a stretch across the chest and release some of that tension. So just reach your arm across the chest, grab that opposite upper arm. Yeah, and just feel that lengthening across the top of the shoulder. Nice job. Give yourself a little neck roll here, or sometimes it feels nice to just lean away from the shoulder you're stretching to kind of intensify that a little bit. And then we'll switch the arms. You can lean the neck in the opposite direction. Think about reaching your fingertips long and away. And then we're gonna come down onto our backs with our head facing our anchor point. So we're bringing it down. Remember, you can always use your foam roller under your knees if you need a little bit of support, all right? And we're gonna bring our hands into we have the band on our hands and fingertips straight up to the ceiling, okay? As we exhale, press the hands down to the mat. And then inhale, float the arms up. Good. Exhale, press it down. Inhale, float it up. Nice job. Good. As you press down, we're not adding it in yet, but I think you guys know where we're gonna go with this, is I want you to think about adding your chest lift. So we're not doing it yet, but you have that breath so prepared, you're kind of compressing those ribs to such an extent with that breath, with that reach, that you could levitate your head, neck, and shoulders up if I asked you to. We're gonna take 2 more of these. Let's think about reaching the fingertips a little longer away from the body as we press down. Last one with no embellishments. And then draw the hands up. And now we are going to add that chest lift. So as you exhale, think about pressing hard into the band and start to peel the head, neck, and shoulders up and off the mat. Reach the fingertips a little longer. All the way down, yes! And then float everything down, release the hands. Good, so it's exhale, press down and lift. Think about sliding those ribs down, down, down. And then head rests as the arms float back up to the ceiling. Nice work. Let's take 4 more. Press and lift. Open the chest. Inhale as you press the hands back up to the ceiling. Exhale, lift it up. Wrists are long and straight. Inhale, head rests, arms float. 2 more. Exhale, press down. Use that spring tension to help you create the length away from the ears. And then replace the head and lift the arms. Last time. Here we go. Blow out all that air. Shoulder blades slide down the back. And then control on the way down. Nice job. All right, so your head is anchored in the center of your head is straight from your anchor point. I want you guys to slide a little bit to the left of your anchor point so that your right hand is above your shoulder instead of your head. So from here, we're gonna take a lower and lift, but we're gonna press down to our left hip. So exhale, press across the body towards the left hip. And then inhale, come back to center. No chest lift yet, Jen. We're going there, but unless you want to do a million, yeah, just lower and lift to start. Yes, and as we feel that cross across the body, right, just going as low as you can keep some length in the arm. Yeah, just start feeling the side of that shoulder fire up here. We'll take 2 more. Inhale and control. Exhale, lower it down. And then as you're at the top here, I want you to take your left hand out to the side a little bit. You can use that hand for a little support. And we're gonna exhale and we're gonna crunch, but it's gonna be an oblique crunch. So I want you to think about reaching your armpit of your right side towards the hip on your left side. Ready? Exhale, lower that hand, lift up. Yes. And then reach it back down. Good. Exhale, press in that little crunch. Look towards your left hip. And then lower it down. Good. It's okay to press into your left hand a little bit to give you a little bit of support. We're going to take 4 more here. Press, lower, lift. Those triceps should be working too to keep that nice straight arm. press. We're making that big X across the body with our power line. Blow all that air out towards the bottom of the rib cage. Last two. Across the body. Think about sending your fingers to saw off the side of your inseam. And then lower it down. All right, we got to switch our sides. So shimmy your weight over so that now you have the band over your left shoulder. All right. Right hand can come out to a little bit of a T to give you a little bit of support if you need it. And then we'll start with just our lower and left. So exhale, press down towards your right hip this time. There we go. And then inhale, let it up. Exhale, press and lower. Inhale, float it up. That's it. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale, control. As we press down, you're not just feeling a little bit of those obliques helping to stabilize you, but we're also feeling a little bit of our pec muscle work and across the chest into that flexed arm position, flexed shoulder rather. All right, on this next one, let's add in that chest lift. So you cross, saw with your pinky across the inseam, and then lower and lift the arm. Exhale, we're bringing our left armpit towards our right hip, and then lower everything. Exhale, use the resistance to help reach further, further, and then lower it down. Nice job. What do we have? 4 more. Thinking about that cross in the body, your energy line going from the top of the oblique down to your opposite hip. Here come our final 2. Exhale for 1 and lift. Saw off that inseam. And then final 1. All about the obliques today. All right. Bring yourself back so that your head is centered with your anchor point. We're going to wrap up with our arm circles. So no more mean core work, I don't think. So keep the head, neck, and shoulders resting. Shoulder blades are flat on the ground below you. Think slight retraction, slight depression. Exhale, press down towards the mat. And then open out and around for a nice shoulder circle. Exhale, press, and then open out and around. Nice job. And these can be as big or as small as you would like them to be. Mine are a little smaller today because I have wood on either side of me that I run into. But what I want you to think about here is that shoulder, the head of the humerus, your big arm bone. I want you to think about the head of the humerus, just kind of rotating around in the socket here. We're exploring those different orientations of the shoulder joint. On the top of this circle, let's reverse the direction. So we open out and around, and then we reach up through the center. Good. Open out and around, and then come up through the center. Trying to keep space between the shoulder and the ear at all times, especially as you sweep towards the hip. Think about reaching long, long, long past the hips. And we'll take 2 more of these. Exhale, blow the air out. Inhale, control through the center. Last time. And then go ahead, release your springs, but keep your orientation of your head. And we're just going to flip onto your right side. All right, so this one is a 1-arm press. This one's kind of a tricky exercise So if you like the foam roller for a little bit of support, you can add this underneath your rib cage here. If not, you can always just support with your front hand as kind of a kickstand. Now, normally, I harp on the fact that you should always have your elbow right underneath your shoulder. Well, today's the day. We're going to break the rule. So we're actually going to walk that elbow out, almost a foot, yeah. And then we're going to take our forearm and we're going to brush it away from our face. So it's about a 45-degree angle. Good. So now from here, again, use your hand on top to support. We're just going to press up so that we're on our palm, and then we're going to lower it down. Yeah. So this is called the one-arm press. I think you can see why. And it's all about that shoulder stability. So I want you to think about, as you press up, the shoulder joint doesn't get any closer to our ear. So that's definitely the challenge, is how can we press away without sinking into the shoulder, all right? And remember, you do not need to get to a straight elbow on this one. This can be like an inch lift and then lower. That's gonna be hard just as much as the other one, all right? But if you want to play into that range of motion, you can try it out. And again, right, I had to slide the elbow out because we are just making it not easier, but just bringing the range of motion down a little bit. If you have a little more range of motion and a little more stability in the top of your waist, you can bring the elbow a little closer to the shoulder, and that will just lift you into a slightly higher position. Now, I said it was all about kind of rotation and flexion today, so you should also feel that these obliques on top are helping you kind of crunch into that position. Okay, Jen, what do we think? One more? That sounds like plenty to me. Woo! All right, and bring it down. All right, you're gonna stay right where you are. Now, you are gonna bring your elbow into position. So we're gonna grab our band for a little bit of long arm adduction and abduction. Good. So right here, make sure that shoulder starts over the shoulder. So we should be making a nice T position from fingertip to elbow. We are pressing out of the shoulder below us. That's right. And then we're just gonna exhale, press the hand down to the hip, and inhale, float the fingertips up. Good. Exhale, press it down, and then inhale, float it up. And I have us up on our elbow here, which makes us work a little harder through that side body. But if you don't have the stability yet, you can always come down into a full side lying position where you would be just supported on top of that bicep. You would want to not have the foam roller there for that portion. All right, squeeze from the armpit to pull that band down. Good. One more. Exhale, press it down. Good. On this next one, we're going to reach it up. Now, come down to a 45-degree angle, all right? So you're reaching just a little bit out of that 90. Good. We're going to bend at the elbow and then press it right out for our triceps. Yes, just the elbow bends and then just the elbow presses, right? So we did do a fair amount of bicep work today. And so this is the antagonist to the bicep. It is our elbow extender. It's what's going to help keep you supported on the recovery and maintain that positioning of the blade base off the water. Let's take two more. Last one. And release. All right. Flip over onto your other side. We got our one arm press with the opposite arm. So again, get situated so that you're in this nice sideline position. Hips are stacked as best as you can. Shoulders are stacked as best as you can. And then from here, we walk that elbow out so we have a little bit less of a steep angle, and then sweep the fingertips away from the face for about 45 degrees. Good. Use that bottom hand as a stabilizer. Press up and then pull it down. Good. press it up. Feel that contraction in the top of the core, and then pull it down. Good. This, my friends, is really just a push-up, but it's sideways, and it's named something different so that people don't have horrible flashbacks when they think about it. Really think about putting the weight into that palm as you come up, and then keep that shoulder lifted as you come down. So no sinking, press the shoulder away. Yes, we're as wide as we can possibly be across the top. There we go. We've got 3. Whew, this tricep that already worked is burning now. Here's 2. And last one. Oh, okay. This one we're going to, so grab your band, the opposite side, adduction and abduction. So position yourself in your preferred sideline position, either on your elbow or resting on your bicep. And we're going to exhale, press the hand to the hip, and inhale, lift it up. Exhale, pull from the back muscles, reach the fingertips long. Inhale, sweep back up to the ceiling. I want you to think about your whole body being in a toaster slot right now. So we are in that nice lateral plane, the frontal plane, just working without touching the coils of our toaster ahead of us or behind us. No singeing those fingertips. We'll take 3 more of these. Make sure if you are up on your elbow for this one, we're staying lifted out of that bottom shoulder. Neck is in line. We're still reaching long out of the crown of our head. Last one here. Come up to that 45-degree angle, and then it's bend the elbow and press it away. Bend and extend. Working right into that triceps muscle on the opposite side. Thinking about reaching the fingertips past the feet. Just 3 more. Inhale as you bend. And exhale to extend. Back of the arm working hard for 1. And then release. Bring that band down, and we'll end lying on our stomachs. So come down, we're gonna do a little unilateral work, all right? So rest one hand on the mat and forehead rests on top of it. I'm gonna do my left hand first. So left hand is on the band, and it's reaching out in front of you like you were gonna make the letter I with your whole body. On an exhale, bend the elbow to a 90-degree angle, and then slide the elbow all the way in. Inhale as you return to that 90-degree position. Exhale, pull down, elbow to ribs. Inhale, reach back out in front of you. Good. So we've done a lot of rotation today. Continue to move with your breath. This one is a little bit of that anti-rotational exercise. So as we exhale and pull, I want you to think about keeping even weight through your breastbone and into that rib cage. We're not rocking from side to side here. Last 2, press it down, squeeze that elbow. And final 1. Release the hand. Opposite hand, left hand comes down to support the forehead. Right hand reaches out. Fingertips are past your head. Bicep is next to the ear. And then we exhale, bend the elbow, and then slide it in towards the ribs. Inhale, float it out and around. Good. Trying to keep that palm approximately the same distance from the floor the whole time. And again, you should feel a little bit of that shoulder mobility here. We've got that range of motion from overhead all the way down past the bottom ribs. Last 3. Exhale as you pull it down, shoulders away from the ear. Here's 2. And our final 1. Shoulder blade comes down the back as you squeeze the elbow towards the ribs. And release. All right. We'll end with a little swan to stretch out that back a little bit, but don't be fooled. It's still some work. So hands are going to come right underneath the armpits. Forearms are flat on the ground. So if you need to walk the hands a little bit forward, that's okay. Press into the whole forearm. And I want you to think about first sliding the elbows towards the hips to bring the shoulders away from the ears. On an inhale, forehead floats off the mat. Press into the whole forearm to lift into this little mini extension. And then exhale. Keep reaching the head long. Elbows slide back, back, back. Inhale, press into the palms and the elbows. Lift into that extension again. And then exhale. Think about reaching the nose past the fingertips to find that length. 2 more. Inhale. Widen the rib cage east to west. And then exhale, lengthen. Pull the elbows one direction and the crown of the head the other. Last time. Inhale, collarbones roll back. Roll that spine around an imaginary barrel behind you. And then exhale, lower it down. All right. Let's end with our shoulder rolls, just to release any tension we might have found. So we'll start forward. 5 shoulder rolls forward. Finding that nice little massage in the traps as we roll. And then let's switch the direction. Roll it back and open. Good. Lining those nice open collarbones. For 2. On 1, leave the shoulder blades down the back. And you guys are all set for another week. Thank you guys so much for joining. As always, if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to drop one below. And we will see you next week.